Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, I haven't really done a really long video blog on here, so I'm just gonna be doing it on my backup channel, Mr. Ryukage99, because that's the only channel that I can really do a video beyond the 15-minute limit, All of my Mr. Ryukage channel, I can only do up to 15 minutes, and there's because of like the whole strike that I got from the channel, and the fact that the strike was still active once they implemented the unlimited video for people, So, anyways, I was I actually did like a video blog about like my love life on there. I think at least just about a couple of weeks ago, and then I kind of ended up deleting the whole video but it was really about this guy that I liked, and I think he was just going around playing games with me, but apparently it's just that I just feel like I can't really seem to to move on from that. I mean, because I like him too much, and I don't know. I think maybe he was just doing that simply because he's just not really ready for something serious just yet. But although I figure I should say the specifics on it. It's just that he was telling me that he was like seeing somebody else, but yet he was eager to come over here and sleep with me. But even now, it's like he still said he was like sleeping with somebody else. There's saying someone else, but eager to sleep with me, and yet there's no pictures of this other person, and I don't really see any kind of other things on there. And the fact that he doesn't even have any other pictures other than himself, and various things. But I'm not gonna really tell him his name, but although I had mentioned it on my live journal a while ago. But anyways, although I should have been a little bit more assertive about it, but maybe that's just where I got these little problems with some guys in the first place. Yeah. For me not being assertive enough, or at least not for me to not tell them what I want or what I don't want. But it's all part of the whole Asperger syndrome. And I kind of already mentioned it on my video blogs on my old channel, Ryukage99, but I also mentioned it on my new channels, and even like some of my old channels. There's actually one channel like the Ninja Ryukage99, which is, I guess I could say it's virtually inactive, but maybe that might be the whole reason my Ryukage99 channel might not come back as far as that goes, because because the other channel probably doesn't have a Google account attached to it. And then, although I think I probably should at least try to change the name of the channels around, but change the emails around it as far as that goes. But so, anyways, it's one of those things that I kind of just wonder about people, but although I've mentioned one before, on my old channel, as far as like with Ricky, but and I mentioned like all of my little problems there about on that, or maybe about when I first started doing video blogs on YouTube. And I was like back around '07, I think. And I guess I could say it was just with Ricky and then the one before him that I just had mom and dad in a way of it. And the fact it was the one before that, I was just right when it just came out, and then as far as with Ricky, it was just maybe when I finally just got back here, because I was living in Dallas about from '03 to '05, and I guess they had a lot of like drama with people like that, with that one guy that I've said he's like the actor. So, anyways, one of the whole stories was that. Oh, great, I'm losing my train of thought, so, anyways, so my main part of it, I might cut this a little bit short if I have to, but if the battery on the thing dies, so, but luckily I have, like, this, whatchamacallit, like, the little connector here if I want to, like, charge it all the way up, to, just in case, if I have to, so, even if I do have this sort of thing, so, anyway, so you could probably have to, like, excuse me on all of that, so, anyways, as I was saying, that I kind of always knew I was like gay and all that, and it was kind of like hard for me to come out, with the whole time, and then the fact is having some disability or having Asperger's syndrome, that there's just going to be people that will get the whole things mixed around, even though there are two separate things. My whole orientation and my disability are two different things, and then the fact that I've seen people on Bear WW or Bear 401 or all those other places that they're gay and they're deaf, or they're gay and they have cerebral palsy, or spinal bifida or whatever, or they're gay and they're blind, as well. But I think for one thing is, I think just some people just have a hard time trying to accept the fact that there are other people that are different from them, and I just probably just want to live in a world that's just only people that are there are the people that are like them. And then it just can't really deal with the fact that there are some people that are different. To tell the truth, And the fact there's just some people that just live in a dream world. I think that's just what it is. I think there's just some people that just live in a dream world, regardless of whether you're like liberal or conservative. There's just some people that just believe that society should dictate to whatever their ideals are, whether it's religion or whatnot, And it's just that way with like whatever, if you're like liberal or conservative. There's just some people that are just that way. So, anyways, I digressed into just going to the politics, So, anyways, it took me maybe about 10 years, almost 10 years to kind of come out, because I already kind of started to really notice that I was like gay, around when I was like about 13 or 14, And then I think it was just bad timing on my part as far as a lot of things, I probably should have came out around when I was 16, But this was just right around the time we had the whole Versace murder and the murder of Matthew Shepard. And so that kind of thing kind of prevented me from coming out, as well as some family problems. So I wouldn't necessarily say specifically on that, although I have talked about it on my live journal a few times, and I had mentioned it on my old channel maybe about 2 years ago about the whole thing, so anyways, the other thing that was going around, was that besides all of that kind of stuff, it's just with the whole actor and Ricky, but although they weren't really the only people that I liked at that time, but I would say it was just the actor was the first one, and then there was also Josh, but I'm still trying to kind of at least just get back with him strictly as a friend, in spite of all the silly little things I've done, but that was only because Mom was on my case about them, and I kind of just really just wanted to figure Josh and the actor for myself rather than just having Mom figure them out for me. And so anyways, besides that, I was also having that same kind of problem with Dad. That Dad was just doing that there with Ricky, where he's just trying to figure that thing out for me rather than just letting me figure it out on my own and just be the more supportive parent where they just come in and support me when I need them, and then step back when I don't. That sort of thing. I think that was just one of the whole problems that I have with people in general. It's just what I want and what I don't want from them, and then sometimes I think that people just have to be a little bit more sensitive to that, because I may not always tell them in some ways just directly that, what I want, or what I don't want, but I guess I could just say it's just that they finally got them out of my back, off my back, but I think at the price of that, I think I did broke up with Ricky there, but although I hadn't really seen him a whole lot, for that entire time, it was only because of the fact that he was busy with work, busy with school, and the fact that I don't drive. I mean, you don't really see it, but it's my eye's different, and I tell people that it's just the botched eye surgery on this eye, and that they were going to try to make it center, but the problem was it just didn't came to be that way. It wasn't going to be the way it was supposed to be. So it was kind of a little bit off center, and then they were trying to fix it. So I'm kind of stuck that way. But growing up, people would have asked me how many fingers I'm holding up. Can you see out of that eye? It was kind of so stupid with people like that, and I kind of say that I'm just Elphaba from Wicked, how how she introduces herself and where she says yes, I'm always green. No, I'm not seasick. No, I didn't even grass as a child. And it's just one of those little things I have to explain to people about my eye, Although, some people growing up were asking me like silly questions like that, not just like my eye and all that, but then some people ask me like, what if I have a penis or not, or all that kind of silly stuff. I don't know why people always ask the stupid questions about my eye, when I was growing up. And it's not like people say that about my eye today. I don't really see people that are like more mature than that. At least that they're saying about like, oh, what happened to my eye, but they never really say like, oh, can you see out of it, or how many fingers I'm holding up, that guy. So that just kind of really annoyed me about like my eye in general. But so, anyways, I'm just gonna probably check to see something else. Oh, it was just another one of those little requests on Facebook. So, anyways, I guess back to the whole story in hand. That it's been like maybe about like a year since I've known this one guy that I like. And I hooked up with him at least a couple times and so I don't know. I'm not really sure if I really like want a relationship with him, to tell the truth. But I think had a hard time saying that maybe I do want that, but then he kind of comes off as saying like he's seeing somebody else, and then but there's no proof of a boyfriend or anything of that sort, and the fact that he was so eager to sleep with me and all that. And the other thing I forgot to mention here was the fact that he was asking me for my plans for the weekend. If he was seeing someone else, he probably wouldn't necessarily ask me plans or anything of that sort. And the fact that he was so eager to just hop in bed with me. So, anyways, besides all that, although I was gonna like mention it like maybe a little bit later on, it's just that there's just some people that I just seem to gravitate towards, but I think I'm just still a little naive about relationships and all of that. And the fact that I never really did these kind of like things like that what I should have been doing back around middle school and high school, but I think at that time, I was just so consumed with my pride and so consumed with trying to prove to everybody that I'm a human being, just because I had a disability. And I think I just had that going on from middle school all the way to maybe like about 10 years ago, I think. Or maybe a little bit after in some ways, that I'm being so consumed with trying to prove myself to some people, And I guess in some ways I should mention it about the whole adult transition, Although I never really talked about it a whole lot on here, but I talked about it on my live journal, where I kind of complained a whole lot about it because at the time I was there, it was just primarily designed for all the kids who needed more help than me, and they weren't really used to the whole Aspie kids. But this was back at the time, I think, when Asperger's syndrome had finally appeared on the medical books. And so, anyways, I was just going through life without being diagnosed with what I was. And that everybody just misdiagnosed me as being like emotionally disturbed or whatnot, when it's just the whole Asperger's itself. But although I should have mentioned that at first with high school it was pretty okay, pretty much okay. Although I think I just had that one teacher that I had a bit of a problem with, but I don't really say like he was a bad teacher or anything, but I think it was just that he just needed to kind of be a little bit more consistent with the work that he hands on, and then with the lesson plan and the work that he hands on. That's just what it is. He would just hand out so much work, but it would be too easy, and it should really be more or less not too much easy work, but at least just have like maybe an assignment that's not like one assignment that's moderately difficult, and rather than just having a bunch of assignments that's just too easy, that just seems to be a little bit not worth the challenge, to tell the truth. Rather than just giving like a bunch of assignments that are hard, that's like really too challenging. But so, anyways, besides that, I did have other like bad teachers. I think for one I think it was my third and fourth and fifth and sixth grade teacher. Well, actually part of third grade in some ways, but it was Miss Levitt. Although I don't know what has happened to her, but anyways, I think it just felt like I was just 3 years in the same grade, and even though I actually went up a grade, from 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, but and then part of third grade, part of the third grade was with her, and then part of it was with Mr. Sims. And Mr. Sims, I think, was like the first bad teacher that I had, or at least might have been a little bit too strict, and I think he was probably more suited for high school students rather than just middle school students, or not middle school students, I mean grade school students. At the time, this was like 89, so like 89, 90, and then the whole 90, 91, and 91, 92, 92, 93 years was just with Miss Levin. And then I think with middle school was okay, and then high school was okay, I think, in some cases here. And as far as with the adult transition afterwards, I think it was all right, but I just wish they would have at least accommodated more on my disability then, instead of just having me focus more on the whole silly little jobs when I just wasn't emotionally ready for that just yet. And I guess in some ways, if I probably had done all that stuff rolled over, I probably would have taken a year off. At least Mom and Dad would have understand that I was gone through a lot from senior year and all of that, but the people with the IEP, that probably would have never really understood because they were just mostly interested in results. Not interested in what I really wanted, but interested in just the results. At least just that's how it is in my opinion on it. But so, anyways, I would just say that with all of that, it's kind of what you can know where I'm coming from as far as that goes. So, although I would say it's just that in an adult transition, besides them trying to focus me onto a job when I'm not ready for it. But then I was just really focused more on my studies and rather than the job. And then I just really wanted more of like the job when I was ready to do that, you know. But I just didn't want to have like some sort of stupid little Mac job or whatever, you know, like that, you know. But I just wanted more of a regular job that I could be proud of, you know, instead of just working at like Party America or just putting all the little merchandise up or like even this sort of thing that Dad had kind of mentioned to me about while he was working at that one job of his, that there were these kids that have Down syndrome that would come in every week just to carry the boxes of paper, and that's all they did. That's all they did was just carry the boxes of paper to and from the office. But I feel like I'm just more than just that, and that was just something that I just had a hard time trying to nail it through them. That I just more than just those type of kids, you know, that really need a whole lot of help than me. So, anyways, besides that, I did kind of gone to another school like over in Texas, and I did have like the help there. Although I think primarily I was mostly on my own while I was there, you know, rather than just how it is with the adult transition and all that. But although I figure I'll probably will come back to like school again because I feel like I'm now like ready to kind of come back, and I've already gotten over this uncomfortable feeling, you know, being back at the school, you know, and all that, you know. But although I figure I probably have to kind of get the whole disability services again, you know, and all of that. But if I don't, it's just that I'll just be on my own, which is just going to be a little bit challenging to do all these sort of things on my own. But I feel like I do kind of need help, but I just don't need so much help that it becomes a burden. I mean, so much unwanted help that becomes a burden. So, anyways, I guess that's probably it for now. I've been talking for maybe about like a half an hour, so see you guys next time.